You know, I think my overall enjoyment of this show has been negatively impacted by the expectations I had at the end of Season 1. I mistakenly believed that we as an audience would get more of the kind of storytelling we got last season, without even considering that the show would hire new writers and directors going into Season 2. Sure, Chiplin is still co-writing these episodes, but the change in production has become more and more noticeable as the season's gone on. I bring this up now because we're 5 episodes into a 20-episode season, and I think it's time for me to stop hoping for something better and just accept that this is how the show is now. So let's see if the season can give us at least a good and enjoyable episode as we talk about episode 6, Forged Under Fire. The episode opens with a very quick scene of Tyler and his dad hanging out together before we cut to Singe showing Heckle and Fury his Zotek rings, explaining that they can neutralize the power of anything they surround, including energems. Fury says they don't want to neutralize the energems, they want to steal them, and Heckle agrees, saying that Singe's fancy plans mean nothing without results, before ordering Singe to bring him the energems. At the lab, Sir Ivan and Riley are sparring with swords when Tyler and his dad slide in, being greeted by Coda, who's making a cave painting. The two go to look at the painting, with Mr. Navarro assuming that Coda must have studied art at the university, which confuses Coda, and before Tyler can mention he's a caveman, his dad goes to see Sir Ivan's sword. After examining the blade, Mr. Navarro says it's a beautiful replica, offending Sir Ivan, who says King George himself gave him the sword. Mr. Navarro doesn't buy it, saying that next Sir Ivan will tell him that Philip is the Prince of Xandar, with the prince naturally introducing himself before Kendall says that Coda is a caveman from 10,000 years ago, and Sir Ivan is an actual knight of Xandar. Shelby adds that they stopped aging because of their bond to the energems, conveniently leaving out that Coda was frozen in ice for thousands of years, and all that business of Sir Ivan being held captive by Fury for 800. Chase then mentions that Mr. Navarro looks more like Tyler's brother than he does his dad because he stopped aging 10 years ago, before the Rangers go to see what Kendall's doing. Kendall says she's modifying Tyler's battleizers so he can access the weapons of all 8 energems, with Shelby saying they only have the graphite and aqua energems left to transmute as she prepares them for the process. Mr. Navarro comments how his energem stole 10 years of his life, prompting Chase to ask how he found it. Tyler's dad explains that after he saved Rusty, he was trapped by rocks, but found the aqua energem in a nearby fossil. The gem bonded to him as soon as he touched it, before he was found by Fury, mentioning that he had seen the creature stalking them a day before. Mr. Navarro managed to escape the cave, but Fury never stopped hunting him, so he went into hiding to keep his family safe. Tyler's dad then asks his son for forgiveness, who grants it to him, saying he doesn't have to run anymore, before the alarm picks up alien biosigns. The Rangers all start to leave, but Kendall stops Tyler's dad and Prince Philip, since their energems haven't finished transmuting, and though Mr. Navarro rejects the idea, Tyler says the 6 Rangers got this. On the field, Hunter engages in a fight with the Rangers as Singe watches, getting ready to implement his plan. All of a sudden, Fury randomly shows up, spouting some nonsense about Singe stealing his thunder and calling for the Magna Beam, but Singe somehow gets the beam to hit Fury by putting Zotek rings on him for some reason. And while Fury says the rings make him feel weak, as soon as he grows giant, he's suddenly ready for a fight, immediately attacking the Rangers instead of Singe, who did this to him. Tyler says he'll use his T-Rex Supercharger to take out Hunter, while the others fight Fury and the Megazord.
Dino Charge Megazord, Tri-Stego Terra Formation, ready!
Dino Charger, ready! Dino Super Drive Saber! Dino Super Drive! Activate!
Oh no, what did they do to you, Davi? Your accent disappeared. Tyler faces off against Hunter, apparently being able to use T-Rex Superdrive while the Zord is in the middle of a fight, and after getting knocked back, Hunter retreats, giving Singe the chance to put a Zotek ring on Tyler. Meanwhile, the others are able to strike down Fury, which doesn't kill him for some reason, but instead shrinks him. Fury retreats, saying Singe will pay for this, while the other monsters begin preying on Tyler. Fortunately though, Tyler's able to break the ring, which just drains his battleizer, before the other Rangers show up, and the team chases after retreating Singe and Hunter. The Rangers put up a good fight against the monsters, but Singe manages to put Zotek rings on their energems, causing them to demorph. Tyler tries to activate his T-Rex charger with no success, but luckily the Aqua and Graphite Rangers show up and the team makes their escape. Back at the lab, Kendall analyzes the Zotek rings and attempts to remove the one on Tyler's gem, but while it does work, the process cracks the energem. Tyler asks if he can morph, but Keeper says that it would be very risky and that they should fix it before the damage becomes irreparable. Chase says that Kendall can fix it, but she says she needs the right combination of heat and pressure, which Tyler's dad said can be found in Samson's caves since it has a lava pool. Kendall says that could work, so Tyler and his dad go to find the lava pool, but it only makes the crack bigger, so Mr. Navarro says they need to go hotter. Tyler suggests using Dino Armor X to dig deeper underground, and though his dad protests, Tyler says it's the only way and starts digging. The hole collapses after Tyler digs through, so his dad contacts the others and tells them of the situation. Kendall says that Tyler should be okay since his suit can withstand the heat, before noticing alien biosigns nearby, telling Tyler's dad to morph to protect him and his son. Kendall and Prince Philip go to help Tyler's dad, and though the others want to come too, Kendall tells them it's too dangerous since they can't use their energems before heading out. The 3 Rangers meet outside the cave, cave where they run into Spike Balls and Vivix, morphing to take them on. Back at the lab, the Rangers decide to go out despite not being able to use their powers, but they don't get far as they run into Hunter, engaging in a fight with the monster. Tyler, meanwhile, makes it to a deeper lava pit, sticking his Energem into it, but says he's getting weak and the heat's too much. Kendall, Prince Philip, and Tyler's dad are then met by Singe, who strikes them down and prepares the Zotec rings when Tyler suddenly bursts out of the ground, the lava having healed his Energem. Tyler then activates Supercharge mode and destroys Singe's Zotec controller, causing the rings on the other Rangers' Energems to break, so they morph to finish off Hunter with the return powers. Tyler, meanwhile, engages Singe in a fight before Kendall tells him he can access the other Energems' powers since they're free now, so Tyler does so in an incredibly well done action scene where Tyler uses different charger combinations to make his Battleizer even stronger. Tyler uses his new powers to finish off the foot soldiers and strike down Singe, though the villain escapes. Later on the ship, Singe and Fury nearly come to blows over the day's events, but Heckle takes their weapons and locks them in the cell until they can play nice. Back at the lab, Tyler tells the others what happened in the lava pit, even showing them a selfie he took, and the episode ends with this.
Oh, hey, Dad.
Tyler, Keeper and I have been talking. We both feel that my geology skills should be put to better use. The search for the silver energem is what I need to focus on now.
Wait, you're leaving?
Someone very wise recently reminded me that this is about much more than you and me. We have the whole world to think about right now.
Yeah, I know, but Dad, I need you.
I've seen you in action, and I hate to admit it, but you're not 8 years old anymore. Trust me, you've proven you can take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Come here.
I know it's not the center of the earth, but this one means more.
Wait, you're leaving? But I just made a new intro for you, man! This episode is honestly a step down from the last episode and even borders on bad territory. But before I get into that, let me talk about the things I actually liked in this episode. Firstly, the Rangers finally all get something to do here, and we even get to see the background Rangers, aka Tyler's dad, Prince Philip, and Kendall, actually morph and fight in their action scene. Side note, Prince Philip's voice has gotten better, though I do wish the dialogue wasn't so cheesy, and I honestly laughed out loud after the three morphed and Tyler's dad and Prince Philip shouted, "For Tyler!" I also really dug the final action scene with Tyler's Battleizer because it's a unique and inventive idea since Tyler pretty much has the power of a Megazord, plus it provides a good case for why only Tyler can use the Battleizers since his Zord is also the only constant in most of the Megazord combinations. It also opens the door to give a Battleizer to Saravan and Kendall since their Zords also provide a similar function, but while I would fanboy out at that idea, I don't think the show will go that far. However, there are a few things that were terribly done in this episode, including this scene which makes absolutely no sense to me, and I have a lot of questions. What was Fury's plan exactly when he confronted Singe? Did Singe redirect the Magna Beam to hit Fury, or was it always meant to hit Fury? If so, why? And why would Singe drain Fury's power with the Zotec rings? Is it so the Rangers can kill him in a Megazord fight? Because I can actually believe that. And if that was the plan all along, why does the Rangers' final strike not finish Fury when it's done the same to all the other monsters the Rangers have fought previously? Another thing that doesn't make any sense is Mr. Navarro's decision to leave. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind that he leaves, it's just that he says Keeper wants him to use his archaeology skills to find the silver energem, despite the fact that they haven't spoken to each other on screen at all. The production of this episode is also pretty lacking compared to last season. I know what I said earlier, but this is the last time, I promise. Not only is the episode poorly directed and badly written from a dialogue standpoint, but the pacing was kinda off, and I really think the first scene was completely pointless and wasted time the episode could have used to do any number of things, like have Tyler's dad and Keeper talk about archaeology, or further explain that nonsensical scene between Singe and Fury, or even give Heckle something else to do rather than stay on the frickin' ship. Seriously, for an episode that uses its heroes pretty effectively, we still have our main villain do absolutely nothing, and it seems worse that Heckle is in the whole thing without Snide. I honestly would have not noticed this as much if Snide were at the beginning, since I'm at least used to him not doing anything, but Heckle is a guy who plans and actively works to implement those plans, and though his plan to secretly get close to the Rangers failed, I just don't buy that he would sit back and watch his generals constantly getting beaten without coming up with some kind of master plan. Overall, while I'm happy that all the Rangers finally get a chance to shine in this episode, the good stuff that's here is taken down a notch by a scene that doesn't make any sense and a departure that feels tacked on. And because of those things, plus the production issues, I can't recommend this episode. I'm Nick, aka IronBat1993, and may the power protect you.